So hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge. It's a short video today. We've had plenty of Christmas crackers, Andrew Blair-White, including an 18-1 winner by yourself today, the Long Mile down in Limerick. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, look, it was excellent. The race in the last few days has been brilliant as well. The Long Mile was a way to cap off today, which was a pretty good day from a punting perspective, and I know it was for you as well. Back in Ante-Post in the big one, I'm sure you probably didn't think you were going to get the win with 100 yards to go, but he flew late, and Darragh O'Keefe delivered them to perfection.
That's a young man going places, Andrew Blair-White. Darragh O'Keefe, of course, Chatham Street lad, was a nice winner for myself a couple of weeks ago. Darragh O'Keefe riding that as well. Yeah, from a betting perspective, that was probably the highlight of the entire Christmas. Now, of course, we have racing to come tomorrow as well, and it's a perfect time to bring our next Ante-Post selections. They'll be at the end of the video. But what was, if it was to say to you, 3 performances over Christmas, Andrew, maybe not so much from a betting point of view that really stuck out to you, what were they and why?
Yeah, well, look, I just cannot understand these people that continue to crab Chacun Pour Soi. Like, I don't understand what he could have done yesterday differently, to be honest. Is people crabbing his jumping? He jumps super. He probably, like, people were then saying, oh, well, if the last fence was there, Notebook would have gotten closer to him. He would have won by further if the last fence was there. That would have kept his mind on the job. I thought he was absolutely super. Look, over in England, it was hard to get away from Shishkin. You know, he didn't beat much, but he does look a very good horse. He's very prohibitively priced now for the Arkle, but look, he's a horse going places. And as too is Sham Blue. I don't think he'll probably feature maybe at Cheltenham, but he had his big day. He outjumped the big breakaway completely. Won the race by jumping, and it was a super performance. And considering it was a bit of a bloodbath for myself on Stephen's Day, Sham Blue got me out of a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Listen, Xanafir was we've been speaking about him a couple of times. Neither of us have him in our Ante-Post selection so far. He's probably too short at this stage, but I thought it was a slow run race, Andrew, and I thought he's going to appreciate a faster run 2 miles. Lots of debate actually about the hurdles being left in or taken out. The hurdles were in on that occasion, so appreciate it. Hard to get away from him, Andrew, and of course I picked him for the Ballymore, and it looks like my bet now is in a bit of trouble, as I think this horse goes supreme now at this stage, and I think he'd be very, very hard to beat. Probably not a betting proposition at what is he best price now, 5-2, I think, for the Supreme Novice Hurdle. You might get 3-1 in a place, but he was excellent, and I suppose he's a staying 2-miler if that's obviously the route they decide to go now from the front. Could we see something like a Vatour type of display where they let him out in front and, you know, use his jumping, because he is quite a good jumper. The ears pricked and all the way up the Cheltenham Hill. It looks like they're going to try and make the most of his stamina over 2 miles if that's the route they decide to go. As I think one of the lads said in the Champ that you don't know, because Willie Mullins was wearing a mask, so was he smiling under that mask? Could he still go Ballymore? We don't know. But yeah, that bit looks like he was mighty impressive. Chacun Pour Soi, Andrew. This thing wins with his head in his chest in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. You know, I suppose all the horses we wanted to see deliver over Christmas seemed to have. I suppose the King George, a disappointment today in the Savills Chase, was Manella Endo, but I was delighted anyway. Darragh O'Keefe, fantastic ride on Ante-Post. The King George, I suppose, what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, a very hard race to quantify. Frodon was great. Look, Frodon's a great horse, and he exposes chinks in horses' armours, but you can't get away from the high-profile disappointment. Surname ran no race. I think Bryony Frost had Sam Twiston-Davis's pants down, really, on Clan des Obeaux. He got himself into a lot of trouble down the back, which didn't help his jumping along the way. Lost in translation, just something's not right at the moment. I saw him outburst, which is, you know, it's a concerning trend now for him. That's 2 big blips in a row. Waiting patiently, ran a stormer, I thought. Look, he's the type of horse, he's always had a race, like a run like that in him, maybe a 2.5 mile strongly graded 1 race somewhere along the line. Maybe that Ascot Chase, which he won a few years prior, could be something where we see him, but he's a very fragile horse. But it was a race that by the end of it, it had a lot more questions than answers from my perspective.
Yeah, well, I knew when Bryony Frost jumped the first fence with Frodon, and he did 2 or 3 length lead, and the ears were pricked. when he gets into that sort of a rhythm, you'd have to imagine in a Gold Cup there'd be more competition maybe for the pace up front, and I'm not so sure I could have him for a Gold Cup still. But my selection in the race, St. Calvados, turning in, I was saying, Gavin Sheehan, what are you doing to me? He was taking a pull, he was looking around him. You were starting to think, Jesus, I'm onto one here at, I think the price I flagged up on the Christmas special was 25-1. Backed him shorter on the day, but that was I thought it was an interesting trial for the Ryanair Chase. I mean, he ran a fantastic race last year in the Ryanair, and there's an argument that maybe he could have beaten me, and he made a mistake at a crucial time, and he's a very much a live player there, and he's certainly on my radar now when we're looking at Ante-Post selections. But not today, Andrew. We'll reveal our selections. I suppose, first of all, do you want to very quickly rattle through your selections to date? I know we do it on every show, but just for people who maybe haven't been following the series so far.
Yeah, I suppose a bit of a mixed bag. Nassalam 25-1 for the Triumph, 16-1, but looks to be up against it now with Zanahir. Wide receiver 25-1 any race. I think that's a cracking bet. Now he won a maiden hurdle on Stevens Day really nicely. I wanted now a little tenderly ridden run in a handicap hurdle at the Dublin Racing Festival before onto the Martin Pipe with him. Chacun Poursuis is in there at 5-1. That looks a big price now. Hopefully he can go do the business. Latest exhibition I'll know more about tomorrow now. He's 16-1 for the RSA. Geez, if he gives Monkfish a rattle, he'd probably come in the betting. If he gets well stuffed, that bet's probably down the bin. It was good to see Paul Nolan getting a winner down in Limerick there today as well, which is his first winner in a few weeks now. So good to see that just before him. Look, there's a few others in there. Dusart I put up just before Christmas for the Supreme. Now I wish I didn't. Wish I put up Appreciated for the Supreme, because I thought that was absolutely super him at Leopardstown. So a few decent ones in there. A few. I've got a wild card on Time Hill, which is still standing firm. So not the worst book in the world. Could be better, but certainly could be worse as well.
I think, Andrew, you're definitely in pole position as far as me and you are concerned, going to a couple of my ones. There's a couple of Hail Mary shots there earlier on. Week 1, Eldorado Allen, 20-1 for the Arkle. Oh, I don't know about that. Mac Fabulous. Interesting, Mac Fabulous is down to run on New Year's Day in the Relkeel Hurdle. It's hard to see them going Cheltenham over 3 miles, especially after he's been beaten now twice at this stage. Or sorry, being beaten by both Paisley Park and Tyne Hill.
The only thing I'd say about that, Barry, is that Irish form from the 3 mile hurdling division didn't look up to much this today, I must say. So I think if McFabulous was to win a Relkeel, like finishing the proximity he did to Time Hill and Paisley Park, which easily could be the first 2 in the stairs, you wouldn't want to throw that bet in the bin just in case he does win and on the Relkeel very impressively. I'm sure they could be swayed.
Yeah, they might have a think about it. Looks like an entry horse now, really, over 2.5 miles. Appreciated 12-1 for the Ballymore. Look, I hope he goes and wins the Supreme, because he's a fantastic horse, and was unlucky with loser the bumper last year. I felt as though he got mugged by Fernie Hollows. Champ 12-1, probably going to see him in the Cotswolds Chase. The Gold Cup division now looks even more open after today. And Ergamine, I think we are going to see him in January. I don't think there's anything there too serious with him. The fact that he wasn't entered, I was expecting him to run over Christmas. Any race, 10-1, still live. Kescon Risk was last week's selection. Ran a credible race in only his second race over hurdles. He's still the same price as I flagged him up at 25-1. Wouldn't give up complete hope on him. I think they do believe he is a 2 miler. They might stick to 2 miles with him, even though some people are saying that he would appreciate a step up in trip. But he's still very much, I suppose, in the book there at 25-1. She Wears It Well was my first wildcard selection in the series. I put her up at 6-1. She has taken a small bit of a drift, and she had a setback. So again, not to give up complete hope. I think she is smart. It'll be interesting to see where we see her again. But Andrew Blair-White selection for week 7 of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge. Drum roll.
Yeah, look, I'm going to focus in on tomorrow's racing and try and get a price before it collapses. It's probably on the back of Appreciated now. I think is going to run into the Supreme. I think that leaves the Ballymore very much open. And I can't have this Bob Ollinger at all, to be honest. I think he's I like the horse. I think he's a very good horse going forward. I think 10-1's a brutal price, though. And instead, I think I'm going to take a chance that I'm putting up the Shallow Hurdle winner from tomorrow in Brave Man's Game at 16-1 for Paul Nicholls. I know a few people like this horse. I was very impressed with him last time at Newbury, and if he wins tomorrow, it will be half the price. I think he might go into being joint favourite with Appreciated and Bob Allinger. So he's the one I'm going to take. It's just one of those. I was looking to potentially put up Sanois before tomorrow, but his price is contracted even though he hasn't done anything, just because Epatante disappointed. He's best price 11-2. I couldn't really have that as a value play. So Brave Man's Game 16-1. I think if he wins tomorrow, which I expect him to do so, I think he'll cut in the betting. I think Appreciated will go Supreme route. And I think this Brave Man's Game may have the beating of Bob Allinger this year, because I think Bob Allinger won't be seen the best of until he tackles a fence.
Wide open Ballymore now, isn't it? That's what it looks like. And the horse that actually won today for the Mullins is in the Donnelly colours. You might be able to pronounce it better than I will. I won't even try, but in the first race today, he looked absolutely super. So that it's a wide open race. I can see why you're going down that route. I'm going to listen, Andrew. I think we looked at a couple of my selections. I'm desperate now to get points on the board. I need, when it comes to prices, I just need a few live shots at Cheltenham at this stage. I know there's plenty of time left, but I am going to play my second wild card tomorrow, and I'm going to go to 2 Mullins horses. Take a guess what they are. Not saying raw. They're very short, Andrew. You're probably going to have a little snigger. But Monkfish, I think it's the last of the 3-1, I don't think is going to be available tomorrow. You could be turning around laughing at me next week on your 16-1 latest exhibition bet, but I think this horse is very good. We saw today the big getaway winning his beginners up at Leopardstown, and interesting comment from Ted Walsh afterwards. He said, Monkfish, the horse that's running tomorrow, I'd have him for breakfast. He was a very impressive winner at Fairyhouse on his beginner's chase. Did absolutely nothing wrong. Jumped very well, and you see the Albert Bartlett form. Took a bit of a dint today with Fury Road, but I think we all know the form of this race is pretty good. Monkfish has to get in the team sheet now as a wild card at 3-1. I don't think you're going to see anything like 3-1 tomorrow afternoon. And I am going to take a chance on. I'd put her up at bigger prices on Champ.ie before, but for the sake of this competition, I'm going to get her in the team again. It's the last, I suppose, of the big guns for Mullins. Concertista for the Mayor's Hurdle, 9-2 with 2 firms. And I think she's even money to win tomorrow in the graded race. And interesting, when I was down with Patrick last week, just suggested maybe that Willie is probably going to go to stick her to Mayor's company. Again, she could end up in the champion hurdle after tomorrow. But I think she will go to Mayor's route. I think the last in 9-2, she'll probably dispute favouritism with Honeysuckle if she wins well tomorrow. So I'll get her in the team at 9-2, 1 point Concertista. But some of the players below are on some juicy prices, Andrew, and it's still not too late to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's you with terrific Ante-Post books down below, and hopefully we can keep going now. This Christmas racing's been superb, and the next few weeks will be no different heading up to the Dublin Racing Festival. So if you haven't gotten involved, please do get involved and see whether you can beat me and Barry or the other people in the comments to being the best Ante-Post book come the festival.
To be the first, I suppose, official Ante-Post King, Andrew Blair-White. There's been plenty of claims dished around. One particular guy, I think, has even named his YouTube account the Ante-Post King. So see how that goes. You know a bit about that guy.
Exactly. Look, I think his Epatante Christmas hurdle, champion hurdle double went out the window there. But anyway, there's plenty of you guys down there with great Ante-Post books. So keep them coming, and I'd be very interested to see what people's selections are now for this week. Haven't seen the racing we've seen.
Fantastic, Andrew. Best of luck with Brave Man's Game tomorrow, and hopefully my 2 Mullins shots go the right way and we come out the right side of Mullins bingo.
Cheers, Barry.